And the best part was, so Santa came through, but we had Mrs. Claus come through.
Oh.
Mrs. Claus may have been over 250.
Oh. Okay.
And I think Mrs. Claus had hit the eggnog.
Ah.
And she was coming through. Hello and welcome everyone to episode 88 of The Mashup, the best bourbon conversation you're going to hear all week long. We're your hosts, Anthony and Steven. Hello, Anthony.
Hello, how you doing tonight? So, we're getting closer to the inevitable holiday season.
Oh, is that what's coming up?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, that's filled with like, hey, where can we find the best Santa Claus? Because Santa Claus isn't exciting enough. You got to find the best Santa Claus. Where can we go look at lights? All the fun holiday excursions that anybody could imagine are upon us.
Let's just stop you right there.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So one year we went on the Polar Express around here.
Is that like an actual train?
It is an actual train.
Is there ice and snow and like it looks like something out of Frozen or not?
Let me delight you with our experience.
Oh, I'm going to be so delighted.
So we drove to this place. It was in some other town.
So a long way away.
There's a little bit of ways.
Yep.
So we get on this thing, and we waited for it to show up, and we got on, and it was basically like card tables on a train.
Oh.
Okay. So we're sitting, whatever, and we start going, it pulls out, and we start going, down the train line.
Yeah.
And we see lights from people's backyards, and this is kind of cool. Until finally, like 30, 45 minutes out, we come to, I guess, the quote main event. And it's basically another property. And they had one of those steel sheds kind of in the backyard.
Okay.
Like a 2-story steel shed.
Yeah.
And they just had some dinky, like, Home Depot lights around it. And like some stupid yard things.
No.
And that was the North Pole.
Were your kids excited about it though?
This was a couple years ago. I don't really remember, but I remember my wife and I looked at each other and were like, what in the hell is this? And then to top it off,
they're selling you something that's like, it's a false dream, you jerks.
Yeah.
It's not real.
And so I think they served us hot chocolate with our, ticket we bought.
Here's some hot chocolate with your regret.
And the best part was, so Santa came through, but we had Mrs. Claus come through.
Oh.
Mrs. Claus may have been over 250.
Oh. Okay.
And I think Mrs. Claus had hit the eggnog.
Ah.
And she was coming through.
Ho, ho, ho.
She was lively.
There you go. Oh, my God. So this is all happening on the Polar Express?
Yeah.
What was this, the historic railroad here in Kentucky or what?
Yeah, I don't remember. I think we've tried remembering it, and I don't even know if the place is around anymore, but I want to say maybe it was like 4 years ago.
Okay.
So it was a little bit ago, but yeah, it was a huge disappointment.
Dude, see, that's the thing. Like, I feel like the holidays around here is always hit and miss, and it's like that everywhere. You get excited and geared up about things, and like we did Southern Lights, which is a pretty popular thing to do at the horse park. Yeah, and we've done other things like going to see Santa and anything we can do. So like, I'm all for the holiday spirit and the holiday cheer, but like, at some point in time, every single person, even people listening to this podcast right now, are going to have that moment where everything you plan for, everything you're hoping for, you're going to be sitting there and you're going to be observing this and going, what the hell am I doing? But you're going to do it because that's what you do in the spirit of the holiday season. But you're going to have that experience. And when you have that experience, I hope you'll think of what Steven went through, what I'm talking about, and it'll just be like a moment where you can just laugh and have a good time with your family because that's what it's all about.
Yeah. I would say the best part is our neighborhood. Old St. Nick comes to the clubhouse.
Oh, really?
And it's all free. And so we went up there on, I think on Sunday.
Okay.
And my 3-year-old wanted none of it. She was like screaming.
Oh, crying holiday pictures. So, isn't that fun?
So after the 2 older ones were up there, taking pictures.
Yeah.
Because you have to take pictures with that Santa.
How are you not get pictures with Santa? You got
we
pictures
did
of Santa.
it to where the two older ones were in the foreground, probably like 6 feet in front of him.
Yeah.
And then my wife had to like prop her up on the knee between them, and they had to like put their arms around her as like, because we weren't dressed for the occasion.
Yeah.
And like as she was like hiding behind our oldest, just to have the three of them, and Santa was like in the background.
That's amazing. I can picture this, which is why I'm laughing.
Oh, yeah.
My God.
So happy holidays, everyone.
Yeah. Hey, have a lot of fun. Enjoy the time with family. You deserve it.
Yeah. So Anthony, we did not have any shout outs this week. Boo.
Boo to you people. No, I'm just kidding. Give us a review, give us some positive feedback or whatever you want to tell us, and we'll give you a shout out. But even though we didn't have any actual former shout outs, I want to take a minute to give a shout out to our buddies over at Arsenic Culture. Arsenic Culture is actually a podcast that I've listened to for a long time. I know Steven has as well. We suggest that you guys give them a listen. They have a little bit more of a variety show than we do. They do reviews of beer and food and things like that. And they also do bourbon, amongst other things. But the core of their show from the beginning has been Jason, Matt, and Jeff. We're appreciative of them because they've been supporters of our podcast. And yours truly might be appearing on their podcast sometime soon.
That's not me, everyone.
Come on. I thought it was going to be Steven, but it might be me. And the other thing I wanted to mention is, unlike us, we're mostly through your headphones. They are also on YouTube and things like that. So I'm a little bit nervous about.
They look better than us.
Yeah, they do. They're like very handsome, big beards and all that other stuff. Like kind of crazy. I mean, but yeah. So
and they always have a TV going on in the background.
Oh yeah. They got all kind of fun stuff going on in the background. They got like. Yeah, it's like a crazy fun house going on. So yeah, they got the good vibe over there.
And if you would like a shout out, just leave us a review on Apple Podcasts. The next time we record, we'll give you a shout out. Anthony, this week I've basically come to the conclusion that before we ever review the OG, we're just going to travel around the world reviewing all the other variants of this bottle.
Oh yeah.
So for this week, we have a bottle of Blanton's Single Barrel Special Reserve.
So this bottle is distilled by Buffalo Trace, even though on the bottle it says Blanton Distilling Company. The bottle date is 2022. The ABV is 40%. The proof is 80. This is non-age stated, even though it's rumored to be 6 to 8 years old. The mash bill is not disclosed, but it's mash bill number 2, which is rumored to be high rye from Buffalo Trace. I think the true MSRP on this bottle is somewhere around $70, but because it's not a release that's native to the States, I think in most cases you're going to pay between $180 and $220 for this, if you so desire, on the secondary market.
So the Green Label Special Reserve, that is a European release, correct?
I believe so.
Okay.
Yep.
And you're going to have to stop bringing these 700 milliliter bottles to my house.
Why is that?
I feel cheated every single time.
You want the extra 50 milliliters?
I want it. So, this is a Blanton's bottle. There's not much to say about it besides it has a green label.
Yeah, it looks different because it's a little bit smaller than the standard release. But if you can imagine where they had that normal, what is it, like a tan sort of color, that strap that goes around the middle of the bottle is now green and white. Is that green? I'm colorblind.
Yeah, it's
green?
more a forest green.
Forest green.
And the lettering is, I think it's off-white.
Okay.
It's still hand numbered. But the Special Reserve is a blistering 80 proof.
That's true.
Yeah.
80 proof is. But you mentioned the hand numbering. Do you know now that most Blantons are not hand numbered? They're machined? Yeah, no doubt. So now it's almost like the same trend that's taking place with Four Roses. So you know how Four Roses used to write on the actual barrel strength, like with the Rick and everything? They now have like printed numbers. And Blanton's, which is priding themselves on being hand bottled, also has printed numbers on their label, at least for the mainstream releases. So that's something that's going away that I'm not too fond of.
Well,
that's a bunch of crap.
So do you think this bottle is computer written?
Not that one.
Okay, because I was going to say they have to recalibrate it because the dump date on this thing is 11/7/2022. 1620.
Yeah, which don't. Yeah, it's my birthday, so don't watch as you say, pal.
Well, I was gonna say the second one in 11 and the one in the 16.
Yeah,
the dash connects them, and so it looks like 1H6-20.
well, there you go.
So they need to fix their. If this is not handwritten, they need to fix it.
No, but that's the thing. It is handwritten. That's probably why they're fixing it and making it not handwritten, is because of people like you. Because
I was going to be critical if it was computer or not handwritten.
No, it's not computer. The computer generated ones are a more recent thing, and actually, it's got people wondering, like, if you take the handwritten nature off the bottle and everything else, and you start using different like corks and other packaging, like, is it really as exciting as it used to be? And so,
no,
I know Blanton's is doing that. It's not really, not exciting to me. And I know Four Roses is doing it. And if you're listening, either of you right now, stop it.
Yeah, I don't want to see new Courier font on this.
Yeah, go back to writing the labels, making it like it's handmade, like you're saying, and stop skimping on that crap. Like, that's just, that to me, that's garbage. Be true to who you are.
And it makes it special, kind of like Makers, where every 100th bottle or whatever, they super dip it.
Yeah, exactly.
And they make a unique bottle out of it.
Yeah. And you see them going away from it, like, oh, this is too popular to keep up with, or whatever else is going on, so we're not going to do it anymore. Like, come on. You got to get together. Bring that back. Don't let that linger too long, because if it does, then maybe I'll never buy a Blanton's again.
So this has some interesting things on it, being a European released bottle versus the States bottle.
Yeah, no doubt. Let's hear it.
So they actually have a pour count on this, which is interesting. It says up on the neck, it has standard drinks, 22 approximate. But that's different. And, then they have, I don't know if I recognize this on the that kind of the warning message.
Okay.
As, is your drinking harming yourself or others? And they have a website, drinkwise.org.au.
AU, is that Australia?
Yeah, Australia.
Okay.
Or Austria.
Austria, could be. I don't know.
Yeah,
should we look that up? Maybe not.
Maybe we should end the show prep.
We'll just say it's both. It's both. Australia and
I don't know
Austria.
if they use the same currency.
Yeah, probably not. But hey, why not?
But I believe the horse on top with the lettered horse is the same as the original bottle Blantons.
Yeah. It looks like it. It doesn't look much different. I think it's the same size. What letter is the one that we have up here? Because there's
this is the N colon.
Oh, it is.
This is the N apostrophe bottle.
That's a special one.
Yeah.
So I have to laugh because here we are again with the bottle of Blanton's, and it's been a long time since we reviewed one. We actually reviewed.
What was the straight was the last one?
Straight from the barrel and gold. But I think straight from the barrel may have been the last one we did, and that was back during the 20s. Yeah. Episode 20 something. With that being the case, like, I just have to ask you, like, is Blanton something you still get excited for?
So, quick story.
Yeah.
Locally, we had a restaurant do a Blanton's pick. Then they released it this past week.
Okay.
And I almost considered going and picking up one. If it wasn't for, like, the Christmas season and buying gifts every 12 seconds.
Yeah.
I may have gone out and bought one. And I think solely because of marketing, because I want to collect all the lettered horses.
Yeah.
And because I don't have a bottle right now that I have. So I was going to buy a pick bottle. I considered going to buy it.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know if it's just, I feel like I need a bottle of it in the house for the collection or what. But what are your feelings on it?
Yeah, like, I kind of agree. I kind of agree with you. Like, it's one of those things where do you need it for the collection, that kind of thing.
Yeah,
like that's something to weigh very significantly.
A tater's gonna tate. I still enjoy a pour of it.
Yeah. I'm kind of the same way.
Yeah, and if it was a pick, that's kind of fun.
Yeah.
So, but it was, it was just a high price for it, and just this time of year is bad for me to go pick it up.
Yeah, no, I think that I totally get where you're coming from, and I'm thinking to myself, like, I knew about that pick. You told me about it, right? Mm-hmm. And I was thinking, like, would I go out there? And I had the same reaction you did. I just wasn't sure if I was going to go spend that much money on a Blanton's, which is probably a perfect segue into, what we're going to be nosing and tasting here, because this is a bottle that usually commands between 180 and 220 on the secondary market, and
which
so
is well more than the bottle that I was
bottle you're looking at. Exactly.
Well, should we go for our first notes?
Sure thing.
Man, this is a really nice pour of water we have here.
Oh, you gotta do it like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely has some muted notes when we're trying to sniff here.
I mean, they really dumbed this down to 80 proof.
It makes you wonder, right? Like, what's the market for that? What's the market for 80 proof bourbon that tastes much better, usually at 90 or, I mean, as we said in previous episodes, 100 and 110.
Well, this is not even available in the States. So
yeah, I know.
What is the proof of most scotches?
I think Scotch is closer to 100. I mean, but they're not like ultra high proofs either, because Scotch is usually
old,
age in like barrels for years and years and years, and they're not like worried about the heat and all that stuff. So
I was just wondering if they're just kind of connecting with the European Scotch drinker, with a lower proof. But of course, that's the same area that they sell the Gold and the straight from the barrel from too. So
yeah. Well, with that being said, like, what thoughts do you have about like? Does this smell like other Buffalo Trace product? Do you think like you're excited to drink it?
Nosing it, I'm not excited to drink it personally. Yeah. I mean, I believe I get a little medicinal cherry out of it.
Yeah, I completely see that. Some faint medicinal cherry.
Yeah.
A little bit of oak.
No char.
No char at all. You're right. It does kind of nose like a powerful bourbon that you just added water to.
Yeah. I mean, maybe a hint of vanilla and maybe a touch of butterscotch. Like, there's not much there.
Yeah, very slight. So, you know what's interesting to me? We were talking about Buffalo Trace, and I was saying about how I wondered if you were still excited about Blanton's. Like, Blanton's was the quintessential thing for me when I moved to Kentucky. My wife would always get me a bottle of Blanton's for a nice occasion, like a birthday or something else going on. I think I've mentioned that in a previous episode.
Beautiful gift.
Yeah, beautiful gift. And at that time, it was like $50 a bottle.
I mean, it's the bottle. That's what you want.
Yeah. It just looked nice. It's got the bag and box, the whole thing. But like now I wonder, when I think about Blanton's, like, is it worth lining up for? Like going to the distillery and lining up for it? Do you think? Yeah. I mean,
it's one of those things, like, if it's there, I'll buy it. Mm-hmm. But I don't know if I'm going to go for a release for it.
Yeah, like spend 2 hours waiting for one. Yeah, I have a hard time with that too. And the funny thing is like, do you remember that group called What Does Buffalo Trace Have Today?
Yeah,
yeah. I actually got kicked out of that group.
Were you asking? Were you asking for when the Blantons are coming out?
You know what? I don't know why I got kicked. I think I got kicked for making fun of somebody who was waiting in line, and I really would, like, honest to God, I don't have mean bone in my body. I wouldn't try to make fun of people, but like it was one of those things where something egregious was going on. I made a comment. Next thing you know, I'm not in the group anymore. And so I have that honorable distinction of being probably one of the only people who has ever been banned from a group. It's not about sales. It's just about knowing what distillery has during the day, and I got banned from it.
But I think to piggyback off that, me being old.
Okay.
You know, I'm
old too.
I still remember when this was like $45 on the shelf.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
And so I
think some places $42.99.
Yeah. So I just kind of have a problem even now. I mean, I know, you know, the 60 to 70 range is kind of the standard price for it. And to go off what you're saying about a pick and it's up near 100, I don't know. It's just not attractive at that price point.
Yeah, I agree. Instead of talking about what we think, do you want to taste it?
Well, let's giddy up.
All right.
It's easy.
Yeah, definitely. It's very easy. Very, very easy to drink. The light notes of honey up front.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, it's definitely got some honey.
It's a good one.
It's definitely got the what you were talking about with like the medicinal cherry. I think that carries over the palate just a tiny bit.
Just a little bit.
Yeah, not massive. It's like back like jaws, just like kind of tingling back there. Not a massive amount of flavor.
No.
Yeah. It almost tastes exactly like what we were saying, like it's a little watered down version of most things.
I mean, this is like the OG bottle if you put ice cubes in it and just let it hang out.
There you go, right?
And you're like, where did my flavor go?
Hey, let me get that 6-ounce tumbler, fill it to the top with with ice, and then like post it on Bourbon Junkies or something and watch people make fun of me when I fill it to the top and drink it, something like that.
I guess you just want this bottle to complete the collection.
Probably. I would say that's probably the only time I would,
Do you know someone that just likes this more than the regular Blantons?
I personally don't, but you never know. You could find somebody out there. So when I think about this and we're tasting it now and we're saying that it's watered down, I'm just thinking about the fact that like for years and years and years since things have started becoming allocated, people have sought Buffalo Trace product out.
Yep.
Like anything. It could be E.H. Taylor, Blanton's, Buffalo Trace store picks, whatever it might be. Weller, the whole bit. People just seek out the products they're putting out. And I'm wondering if that's just where we're at right now, if there's something more to that, if anybody else can challenge them, if, Heaven Hill's been doing a lot of stuff with their releases and things like that. Is there anybody that really challenges them in terms of being a top dog for drawing eyes and ears and everything else for bourbon?
It's like just thinking back a couple years ago.
Yeah.
You go to the store on a Saturday, right?
Yep.
Then what were the 4 bottles that were always there on Saturday? You got your Blanton's, Eagle Rare, your Weller Special Reserve, and your McKenna. Right?
That's true. You're right. Yeah.
And so I guess Buffalo Trace always had a footing with everyone.
Yeah.
As, quote, something special to get on a Saturday, even though it's just nothing special.
Yeah. That's true.
And then they come out with their yearly releases.
Yeah. And some of those are fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess in general, people feel like Buffalo Trace, everything's allocated.
Yeah.
in a way, right?
Yeah, like they allocated away and like that it wasn't warranted. They could have just sold their product.
Exactly. That's a great way of putting it. It's not
I wonder
warranted.
how many people they've turned off because of that, if they have.
I mean, just go with the price of Blanton's.
Yeah.
The standard bottle. I mean, it's getting up there with almost like McKenna.
It's true.
It's reaching that point where it's almost too high.
Yeah, and that's a 94 proof bourbon at like what? I think they say maybe a minimum of 4 years. That's not exactly sure what's going in that barrel either. And I mean, I expressed to you I was kind of skeptical for a long time, but I mean, I'm enjoying this pour so far tonight. I think it tastes pretty good.
It's got elements of the flavor profile you're used to tasting. It's just thin.
Yeah.
And so it's still enjoyable to drink.
I agree.
Yeah. It's just a lot easier to drink than, let's say, another Blanton's product.
Yeah, no doubt.
So.
Yeah, I hear you. For sure, 100%. So, Stephen, I am very interested, sir. Would you pass, try, or buy on this bottle of Blanton's single barrel special reserve bourbon?
Before I answer this.
Oh, okay. Qualifier coming at you.
What do you think a pour this would be at a restaurant?
Honestly, I don't know. I would hope they wouldn't charge you more than $15 a pour. That'd be my hope. But I think that in the grand scheme of restaurants, they're probably going to charge you more. They're probably going to be like,
special, it's your
special Blanton's Reserve, like Blanton's. This has got to be like a $50 pour. And anyway.
Because of your answer, which is what I fear was going to happen.
Yeah.
I'm going to be a pass.
Okay.
If you can go to Buddy's house and try this.
Okay.
Try it all day.
I like the old buddy system.
Yeah. Besides just collecting it, the OG Blanton's is way better.
I think I agree with you on that.
Yeah.
For sure.
I mean, the only thing you can say maybe is that little bit of, I'm going to call it a sting, the Blanton, like a little bit of that Blanton's
no doubt
bite it has. This does not have. So maybe that's a tick in the positive for this green label versus the OG. Just knowing what a restaurant would charge for this.
Yeah, that's a tough part.
Yeah, I would just say just pass on this.
Okay.
If you want this, buy the OG and put an ice cube in it and let it melt.
Oh my God.
So, and then you can save yourself some money.
That's true. That's true. Well, I would say this, like I really sought after this bottle for a long time. It was like one of those things where, like,
understandable, I think, why people
I have
would.
the gold, I have the straight from the barrel. I had a good connection there, even though it's since gone, and I'm sad about it. I'm like, okay, all these people are good people, and like we can trust them or whatever. And I'm thinking to myself, like, do I really want to do that. You know what I mean?
I wonder what this tastes like compared to like the black and red label from Japan.
I do too. I wonder.
Like, is it
the
the
Takara
same
red,
thing?
Takara black.
Yeah, is it the same thing?
Yeah.
Or is it slightly different?
Yeah, I'm not sure. But here's the thing. At 80 proof, I think that I'm solidly going to be a pass.
Okay.
Yeah, I know I got a long time to get there. I got a little sidetracked. I'm sorry about that.
No.
But I think that the flavors that I tasted with straight from the barrel, the ones I tasted with Gold, they were more prominent before. In this one, I agree with you. The OG probably outshines it. Mm-hmm. This, I don't even understand it. I don't even know what mark people. But I'm not even sure what they were going for here.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing is that this has is more kind of a honey flavor, like you mentioned, and that Blanton's bite is missing from this.
Yeah, I agree.
And so
go get yourself a jug of Special Reserve Weller.
I mean, you're right.
Yeah.
I mean, they're both green.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Hey.
Yeah.
Maybe we're onto something. Why are they green? They're not rye.
Well, this is rye, but the Weller's not.
That's true. It's high rye.
This is the rye. It's a
high
rye.
rye.
Yeah.
Weller's a wheated, but this is supposed to be high rye.
Yeah.
You're right. So
interesting.
I'm not sure. All I can say is this. I think Buffalo Trace has been playing the game for a long time, and I give them respect for that. They've done a great job. But I'm not really sure if we should trust Buffalo Trace. They're doing a lot to outreach in popular media. Did you see recently when they were on Yellowstone? Did you see that?
I don't watch Yellowstone.
Okay.
I watch a crap ton of other shows. But I guess just from what people say about it, I'm sure I would like it. I just haven't watched it. But I did hear they had a bottle on it.
Yeah, they had the infamous Weller 12 that you have yet to get your hands on.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like a person. It's like in old times.
I'm glad they could get their hands on it back then.
Modern Weller 12, and they're like, I'm just going to drink the heck out of this. I don't know about Yellowstone. I don't know what was going on, but I just know that it was featured prominently. And for a small moment, the price of that bottle went up to like $240, $250 again.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Then it's come back crashing down to $220, which still is way overpriced considering what the MSRP is. But
yeah, it is.
Hey, who's counting MSRP these days?
And with that, thanks for listening to this week's edition. Please like and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at The Mashup KY. Also, let us know your thoughts on this bottle in the comment section. Until next time, keep it neat.